All right, earlier we spoke to an ANC member, Thabiso Zulu, who has written to President Cyril Ramaphosa and other ANC leaders saying, and he said categorically tonight, that people who have been criminally charged are on the list for the upcoming local government elections. So this is a list put forward by the ANC. Let's speak to the national spokesperson of the party, Pule Mabe, joining me now. Mr. Mabe, firstly, is that true?
Francis, I just want to understand what is it that you want me to confirm?
Okay, Mr. Zulu came on and said that there are several people on the list that has been given to the IEC by the ANC. Several of those ANC members have been criminally charged. So he names people, and the one name that we were focusing on was Spamandla Madlala. He said that is somebody from the Moses Mabhida municipality being put forward again despite being criminally charged, facing charges currently in court.
Well, thanks, Francis. We had our special National Executive Committee over the weekend. And in that special NEC, we have accorded provinces an opportunity to make a presentation arising out of the special PECs that they will have held to finalize lists. We also, when within that process, highlighted to provinces and all of those that were delegates to the special National Executive Committee that they are those guidelines, or they are those principles set out in the guidelines that the ANC is non-compromising on, and those include
the step-aside rule.
Yes, those include the step-aside rule.
Okay, then may I ask the question again? There is the step-aside rule that says people who are not criminally charged, people who are charged rather, should step aside. Now, is somebody who has been criminally charged, Spamandla Madlala, on the list?
Well, I was still trying to clarify, but I realized that you were impatient with me, because I wanted to tell you that what needed to then happen after that.
I just want to know if he's on the list or not, sir.
But how will I know on 10,000 people, really, Francis? How will I know who's on the list, who's not on the list? I'm the national spokesperson of the ANC. I will not know who represents what one in eThekwini and who represents what one in Polokwane. You know, so what I can tell you is I can lay out the principles that we have set to provinces. That should it be that there are cadres who are that were brought on the list who were criminally charged or indicted to appear in a court of law for whatever criminal charge, those will then have to be removed. And there are names that have been already removed as we left that special National Executive Committee. I might not know whether that name or this name forms part of that, but as a principle, we said this, we have got to make sure it's observed to the letter.
Okay, so are you saying that a list has already been handed to the IEC? I understand there was a deadline last night. So a list has been handed to the IEC, but you're not sure if that contains names of people who are facing criminal charges?
Of course, because our understanding was that a cleansing process needed to happen.
How can you not know? Has there not been an audit? Did the ANC not look at this nationally?
But why? Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you.
Oh, okay. Okay, if you are hearing me, then allow me to then answer. We are dealing with 10,000 names here, coming out of provinces and coming out of wards and others making up a proportional representation. So the point is that we have outlined principles. The principles are clear. If there are those that are criminally charged and where we need to impose the step-aside rule, such will have to be imposed even before lists are submitted. The understanding is that provinces, like their regions, who could be closer or who are closer proximity to this, will then have to make sure that together with their own regions, they do that kind of cleansing to make sure that the lists supplied to the IEC are in compliance with the guidelines of the African National Congress.
Okay, but there was a list, can you correct me if I'm wrong, there was a list handed over to the IEC yesterday?
Yes, correct. Not even yesterday, day before yesterday.
Okay, and you're saying it contains thousands of names, but you may in future have to retract some of those names if you find that they in defiance of the step-aside rule.
No. The point I was making is that the cleansing process of that whole exercise would have happened through our own SGO working together with secretariats in provinces and in regions to make sure that the product finally submitted is one that complies with the guidelines of the African National Congress. Because
okay, Mr. Mabe, now I'm very confused, because my question to you earlier was that could you say categorically that Mr. Madlala, who's facing criminal charges, is not on that list? And you said you didn't know because there were thousands of names on the list. Now you are saying, please let me finish. Now you are saying that the list has been cleansed, so nobody should be on there who shouldn't.
You are not allowing me to finish because you want to drive a certain message to the viewers of the SABC.
But you're not allowing me to ask my question, sir.
No, because you are not giving me an opportunity to. This is not about a crime scene. You are asking me about ANC processes. You are not a leader of the ANC. I am a leader of the ANC. If you don't give me an opportunity to clarify your viewers, how else are they going to know? This is not a breaking story. You want to understand if there is compliance with processes of the African National Congress. Now we are going to appeal to you in the media. When you invite us to these programs, allow us to clarify you on how ANC processes work. Because this is a process issue. You are asking me about one name in a pool of more than 10,000 names.
Yeah.
Now, how am I expected to know this specific name and not all others? Because if I can know Madlala, then I must know many others who are councillor candidates in all the 53 regions.
Okay,
that make up regions of the ANC. Let me
can I clarify what I'm trying to say then?
Before you clarify, we had agreed when we left the Special National Executive Committee that there's got to be a cleansing process, that the names submitted to the IEC must comply with the guidelines set out by the African National Congress. And where there were names flagged to be outside the guidelines, then they will work to make sure that they replenish the list accordingly to make sure that we could fulfill that compliance. But I will not be able to then pick up one single name. I mean, I'm not a journalist. A journalist could be asked with one specific name. I'm the national spokesperson of the ANC.
Well, an ANC member, Thabiso Zulu, gave us that name and said he's still on the list. He said that categorically.
He stays in KwaZulu-Natal, probably stays in that region. I don't stay in KZN. I don't stay in that region. I'm at Pule House. So if you are going to entertain people from branches who come and talk about the issues of their own branches and expect...
Okay, Mr. Mabe, so let me ask this final question, please. You're saying that the list has been cleansed. Could there be a mistake and some names that shouldn't have been on that list have snuck through? Could there be a mistake? And then what will happen?
Well, what I can assure you and the viewers and the good viewers of the SABC is that where there would have been issues or erroneous carrying and all of that, our Secretary General's office, led by the Deputy Secretary General, is most capable to have ensured that happens. I mean, we've said on many platforms that should we discover, even after elections, that there are people who were on the list who were not supposed to be on the list, the African National Congress will take action in the same way it did in 2011. After 2011, we established the Nkosana Dlamini Zuma Commission, which effectively dealt with what would have been raised as irregularities as it related to the selection of candidates. And where we picked up that there might have been irregularities or some form of manipulation or people that were not supposed to be there who ended up being there by whatever lack that existed at the time, we removed those and then ensured that there could be by-elections in those areas where we had won those ones.
All right. Thank you for your time tonight. That's the ANC National Spokesperson, Pule Mabe.